Good morning, Aletheia Church. Pastor Kevin here. It is Monday, March 16th, and I want to go ahead and give you an update on some changes that are going to be happening at the church for the foreseeable future due to some new protocols and guidelines that came down from the CDC yesterday evening. The CDC asked that all groups that gather with 50 or more people consider canceling for the next 8 weeks. And as I mentioned yesterday during our sermon, we have a desire to honor our government officials and authorities and will therefore be canceling service for the next 8 weeks. This means that this will mean that Aletheia Church will not be gathering on Sunday mornings in person through May 10th, which is Mother's Day, meaning that our first meeting as of right now will not happen until the week after Mother's Day. Another decision that the elders and I came to last night after talking together is that at least through the month of March, we will be canceling gospel communities in person. We had previously allowed gospel community leaders to decide whether or not they wanted to continue to meet in their homes. At least for the remainder of March, we're asking you to stay home and not gather together. Now, the impetus behind this is to be abundantly cautious moving forward. Some of the new information we are seeing is that if we are able to social distance ourselves for the next 14 days as a community, we'll begin to notice who's become in contact with the virus and who hasn't. We will advise you later on heading into April on whether we think it is wise for you to meet, but I ask that you take this caution seriously and you take this advisement seriously, as we want to eliminate the possibility of transmission and spread of this virus. Now, some of you may be asking, why are we making this decision now after we just met yesterday morning? And here's the reality. The elders and pastors of this church met multiple times Thursday through Saturday trying to decide and determine whether we thought it was wise for us to meet and hold our Sunday gathering yesterday. At the time, and after talking with local officials and taking advisement from the CDC, we were advised that as long as we were under 250 people, that we should have no problems gathering. Had this announcement come sooner, I assure you that we would have closed yesterday morning as well. But with the information we were given at the time, we were simply following the guidelines and procedures that had been put in place by us, by our leaders and authorities. So here's what we would ask for you guys to consider doing moving forward. We are going to communicate with you regularly in the coming weeks and months, just to let you know what our plans are and what we plan to do. So I ask that you continue to check your email and follow us on social media for updates in the future. GC leaders, we will contact you guys and give you guys information on how we want you to proceed into moving your gospel community groups online. There are a number of different platforms we can use to do telecommuting or video conferencing, and we would like you to consider doing that so that we can continue to meet with one another, if nothing else, simply to pray for one another. We would also ask that you consider setting up a time to talk on the phone with people in your groups and maybe pray together. Pray for our leaders, both at the state level and the national level and at the global level. To also pray for our healthcare workers who are going to be in the front lines dealing with this, many of them in our church who will be dealing with the increasing number of people who are going to be sick in the coming weeks. And then lastly, we would ask that you please take seriously the guidelines that the CDC and others have set in front of us to social distance ourselves. If you do not need to be out, please do not go out. Stay in, read, study, learn a new hobby, watch movies, whatever it may be, but do these things in the future. So just as a recap, this means that all organized church events are going to be canceled at least through March, and that Sunday services will be canceled through May 10th. This also means that the women's retreat that we had scheduled for the end of this month will be postponed and held at a later date and time. We're asking gospel communities not to meet but move online, and we're asking you guys to distance yourself as much as possible. Church, I love you guys. I am positive that none of this has taken God by surprise, and that moving forward, we will be able to one day reconvene and that maybe God will even have taught us some very important things, maybe even some of the very things that I shared yesterday morning during my sermon. I love you guys. Feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Derek or Stephen or Pastor Theo or Daniel if you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns. But I love you guys. Wash your hands, stay safe, keep some distance for the coming weeks, and spend some time alone with Jesus. We love you guys. Be the church, even in times as crazy as what we're in right now.